all of my wonderful courtiers. Welcome back. If it is your first time visiting our lovely kingdom over here, feel free to hit the subscribe button. You get automatic fabulous points just for doing so. So we are here today to talk about Miss Universe Thailand. The preliminary competition happened this morning, yesterday, different time zones. You guys know I'm on the West Coast, California, so I don't know exactly the conversion, but for me, it did happen sometime early this morning, and I do have a breakdown, my favorite top 11, because I did struggle a little bit with my list. Now, let's talk about the competition overall. Once again, Thailand is serving us performance. They're serving us quality. They are giving us stage and lighting and presentation, and thank you. Thank you so much, because honestly, it is what is deserved, for the girls. They deserve to be able to have this fabulous showing. Only one woman gets to move on to Miss Universe. So for a lot of them, this is their one and only time that they're going to be able to be front and center, and they deserve that staging. So thank you, Thailand, for putting in the effort, putting in the work to give us a fabulous show, because you start attracting foreign people to watching your show like the rest of the pageant world will watch. And I definitely was watching. Now the contestants, the competitors as a whole. Like I'm still perplexed. Like, okay, we had flailing arms. I'm talking like arms that just didn't know what they were doing. They were flailing side to side, or there was one arm that was moving and another arm that wasn't. There's one girl who was clobbering. I literally put clobbering in the notes, okay? She was clobbering down the stage. Like the arms were just out to the side and her steps were really heavy. And the technique didn't show up to class. The technique didn't show up to rehearsal. Speaking of rehearsal, let's get into the lack of rehearsal here. Why am I seeing women attempting turns on stage that they clearly haven't practiced? Like, it's very obvious, very clear that you haven't practiced. And as a theater thespian performer, as someone who's performed in many different arenas of performance, why would you attempt something in front of an audience you haven't literally practiced 100 times? Literally, like actual, I'm not over exaggerating. You literally should have practiced that turn 100 times before you ever brought it to stage. And I swear I'm seeing girls count out their steps in and out of their turns on stage. What is happening? This is Thailand. Yes, I expect more. It's Thailand. So I'm sitting here so surprised, on top of the fact it's very obvious that some of the competitors paid more attention to their evening gown performance than they did swimwear, because swimwear was killing y'all. Swimwear was killing the girls. The babies could not stand up in their bikinis. It was not happening for you this competition time. Y'all are lucky Puninka is not in this competition, okay? You're lucky. It is wholly obvious as I'm writing down like my personal scores for the girls. People are scoring entire points higher than what their swimwear score was. I'm having women that were scoring 7s and low 8s, jumping up into the high 8s and 9 category in evening gown. Swimwear and evening gown, it was like night and day. And it's completely obvious that the women were much more focused on their evening gown performance than their swimwear. And that's not going to fly going to Miss Universe. I know that some women really love evening gown. And I have said before that evening gown is where queens are made. But that doesn't mean you just give up on swimwear as if it's just that easy, as if it requires no technique. I'm seeing lack of confidence, lack of training, lack of just basic skills. And I'm not saying this to sound entirely disappointed, because there are a few girls that are legitimately impressive and viable candidates for the Miss Universe competition, but there are too few. And I felt like I could see, and I'm pretty sure because a lot of you are avid pageant fans, you can see the women thinking through their performance in their head on stage. You can see them processing what steps they're supposed to take and what they're supposed to do, and they're thinking about it, and some of them are overthinking it, and I'm just like, what is happening here? Yeah, so I saw some things that I was not expecting to see, that I shouldn't have seen. I don't know. Okay, let's get into the list here. So I did say I did struggle a little bit with my list, and I'll tell you why. But first, let me actually tell you who's on the list, at least up to number 6, right? So let's go through the bottom 11. I have number 13. Number 7. Number 9. Number 22. Number 25. And number 23. I want to talk about 23 and 22 because they are my drama queens. They are my wannabe Miss Grands. They might have been in the wrong competition. Not to say that they can't prevail onto Miss Universe, but those were the women that were doing a bit extra and probably a little bit too much extra. Not to say that you can't give extra when you're going to Miss Universe, but if you're going to do that, it needs to be fluid. It needs to come off as you being natural, right? So you guys have seen me do a lot of silly things on YouTube, but you can tell that it's just me in the moment. It's like a spontaneous reaction. That's why I have reaction videos, because it's my legitimate reaction in that moment that sometimes goes haywire. And if you are going to do extra on stage, it needs to be as natural as possible. We don't mind, but if it looks like it's forced, we're not going to like it. No one's going to like it. Nobody likes somebody that's trying too hard. That would be like me coming onto my YouTube channel with a fake accent and being extra pretentious and, hello, all my dear darlings. Welcome back to my lovely, wonderful, fabulous kingdom. Like it would just be very inauthentic, right? So one of the girls, I can't remember if it was 22 or 23, she like threw a cape at the end of the runway. It wasn't natural when she did it. And there was one hand movement that I could say it was entirely unnecessary, where one of the girls like laid her hand over her head or something. Nothing about that came off as natural. Nothing, it added nothing to the performance. If anything, it was kind of wonky and it was like, why are you doing that? If you're going to do a performance type aspect movement in your on-stage presentation, you better have rehearsed it to the point where it is flawless, it is fluid, it is smooth. Otherwise, it just comes off as awkward and forced. You can't just do things without having thought them through, especially if it's going to be some sort of extravagant hand movement. However, I will take a woman that has legitimate natural confidence, who's doing maybe a little bit too much, over a woman who is lacking a bit of confidence. Number 13 is one that comes to mind in this because I looked her over during swimwear and I'm like, why do I not have her higher? So I went and reviewed her evening gown, and that's where she got knocked down, was evening gown. Because at the end of the runway, I could tell that she wasn't entirely confident. I could see the fear in her eyes. Number 11 is another one who I saw going through my list, and I was like, why didn't I put her on here? Because to the naked eye, she looks like she's really good. But if you really watch her face specifically, and I went to her evening gown as well, I can see the fear. I can see the lack of confidence. I can see when women are unsure, and I can see when they're thinking or overthinking what they're supposed to do next. Your performance should come naturally. Anything else is just going to be distracting to the audience. I don't want to feel like I'm, watching a competition. I want to be able to live in the moment with the girls. Like when she's just living in the moment, having fun, being confident on stage, we completely lose the fact that this is a competition and we just get dazzled with the prospect of watching her. That is what I want. Those are the moments that I treasure, when I lose myself in the moment and I'm just completely captivated and I'm no longer judging her. I'm just enjoying her presentation. That's the mark of a true queen. That's the mark of a 9. That's a woman who doesn't have to fake it. And I think that's something that women really have to learn. There are those women who fight to have the power, who try to attain the power. And then there are some women who have it. They don't have to fight for it. They don't have to pretend. They don't have to focus so much on it because they were born with it. They have it naturally. That's the difference between a crowned queen and first runner-up. Not to say that we don't have some truly giving first runner-ups, because let me tell you, I still miss Puninka. I still miss Puninka. I miss Puninka. And I didn't get to do this. I didn't get to do a review of, the red carpet gala or whatever, but I have to call out this moment before we get on with the list, because I can't, if I don't say something, it's going to drive me nuts. What was this? Who was this? And how was this allowed to happen? I have to. I know it's a whole break in the whole list thing of what we're focusing on prelims, but somebody explain, because I know that Thailand is using Puninka, which they should. Okay, you definitely should be using Puninka to help these girls because they need her help. What was this moment on the runway catwalk present? What was this? This outfit is grounds for automatic disqualification. I know, I'm catching some of you off guard, but I had to say it because this is one of the wackiest things I've ever seen presented for a legitimate powerhouse pageant on top of that. Somebody in the comment section explain this moment to me, because to this day, I am baffled. Let's get back to my top 5 favorites. At number 5, I have number 10. And yes, I am going to go by the girls' actual numbers, because if there is one language that I am not going to attempt, it is the language of the Thai people. I can't do it. Even the names, like, you guys have me stumped, you win. So number 10. She was giving natural confidence the whole way through, whether it be swimwear or evening gown. She paced herself, she took her time, and she looked like she was having fun. When it came to evening gown, she also gave a little bit of added flair at the end of the runway. A little bit of flair, just a little bit of extra spice, but not too much. She definitely didn't go overboard. And I know that she's not one of the tallest competitors in the competition, but it doesn't matter. She was giving everything that she was supposed to on stage without coming off as unsure, without doing too much or overstating her confidence. This woman is well practiced, well rehearsed, and well prepared. At number 4, I have number 2. I know that she is a lot of people's favorites, and I have seen her on different events, different gala nights and red carpets. She has been very consistent, and she's been consistently good, which is why she's in my top 5. Now, some people may have been anticipating that she would be higher, but there was a moment during her evening gown. Now, her evening gown was very smooth, very fluid, very regal. The only thing that I could pick out during evening gown was her constant waving of that long fabric. It's like a mini cape that she had behind her. Yes, you do. She did it properly. You do want to put it between 2 fingers and kind of keep an arm out so that it catches the air as you walk. And she gave it a light wave, but she was waving it the entire way down the runway, which at a certain point you can tell becomes unnatural, where she's just kind of like going like this, and you look like you're like a bird with a broken wing on one side and trying to fly away on the other. And it lost its natural effect. She probably should have let it go at some point and then finished her performance. But that's the only thing that I could really pick on her about, which is why she's in my top 5. But there are women that are higher up the list that had a more flawless performance, though she's still a threat. We're not taking that away from her. Definitely not. And now we're into my top 3. My top 5, honestly, in my opinion, are leagues above the rest. They truly are. And my top 3 even have a pretty decent gap between them and the other 2 women. The top 3, yeah, you ladies are, that's the fight. That's the fight. The fight is the top 3. At number 3, I have number 17. No hesitation, nothing out of place. These women are the women that aren't doing anything wrong. The top 3 are the women that aren't doing a thing wrong. So at this point, it's who's standing out, who's doing more, who's giving that extra bit of spice, who has more of the it factor, because all 3 of these women, you ladies aren't messing up. You're not messing up. So now I just got to figure out who's giving it to me more. Number 17, her opening face coming into swimwear, like, Miss Universe worthy, you are a Miss Universe worthy queen. Like, I don't even know. There's nothing wrong with her. Nothing. She gave a little bit of extra spice. She has that sway with the hips. She's got a great walk. I wish her knees were a bit more straight during her turn, but it was like 2 seconds of me being extra detailed, and you guys know I have like hawk eyes, so I'm gonna see that. But she's just, oh my God, she's just been doing so good. Even during evening gown, she's allowing that gown to fan out and to flow, and she's got this very natural, happy smile. She will change her face. She'll go into like more of a confident, sultry smile, and then pop back up into a natural, happy smile, and I'm just like, nothing's out of place. There's nothing wrong with her. Not styling, just nothing. Everything's on point. Like, that's why she's top 3. I can't really pick on much. Good on you, number 17. At number 2, I have number 20. Number 20. Oh, I could see her on a Miss Universe stage. Honestly, I could. I could, and she would do well. She would do well. If you didn't, she would do well. And if she's not in your top 5, rethink everything you've ever thought about, if that's the type of judgment that you're having, to where number 20 isn't in your top 5. What are you doing? Number 20 practiced. This is one woman I can say guaranteed. She's the one that did practice 100 times before stepping on stage. Everything was so fluid. She was so comfortable on stage. So comfortable on stage. Her swimwear, she was having fun, just gliding about, enjoying herself. It did not seem like she was rushing. She definitely took her time, seemed like she enjoyed it. She was playing with the audience a little bit. And then she came out during evening gown. I'm telling you, this is the woman that did practice 100 times. She came out, she was one of the women that had one of those capes, and she let it glide, she let it flow. She wasn't batting her wings or anything. She let it flow under its own weight. And then when she came to her turn, the turn was gentle, but the cape, she did like a quick whip, but it was a fluid motion. That's how you know she practiced. When you can do a clean whip in one fluid motion and still complete a good turn, that's a woman that practiced. It was refreshing. She's such a refreshing performance. Even when I was going back through to review other performances and I wasn't watching her, I would still stop to watch her performance just to get a nice refresher and then go through the ones that I still needed to go through again, just to double check my own list, because I will double check myself, but there was no double checking her. Number 20. Number 20. If she goes to Miss Universe, I will be happy. There will be no problem here. There is only one woman left on my list. And at number 1, undeniable, okay? I will fight on her behalf. I will cape for this woman. I will draw my sword for this queen because she is undeniable. Number 1 is number 29, obsessed. I'm just thinking about her. Okay, number 29. Okay, the reason she's number 1 is because she doesn't have to try. She doesn't have to learn. What she has, she owns it. She's not faking the fact that she has power. She's not trying to attain confidence. She's got it, and she knows she's got it. Like I said earlier in the video, there is a difference between women fighting for power and women that already have it. She already has everything she needs to be crowned performance-wise. I haven't heard her speak, okay? I haven't heard any of these women speak. Performance-wise though, number 29 is that woman. She came out knowing that she was gonna own it, knowing that she is beautiful, knowing that she is confident. Everything about her performance during swimwear screams, I am amazing and I know it. She is giving me, I am a queen and you know it. Number 29 is giving me that it factor of a born queen. And then we get into her evening gown, and sis came out with my favorite evening gown. She came out with my favorite evening gown. Amazing number 29, amazing. Like the brilliance and the subtlety of number 29's performance. Did you not look? I know everybody doesn't see the way that I see, but go back and watch her evening gown. She comes out and she's already serving face. She comes out with a face that says, I am sultry, I am queenly, I am regal, I am confident. All those emotions in one face. And then she glides down the runway. Okay, she's got her dress gently fanning around her. She's not forcing the wave. She's not, she doesn't have her hands in her dress. It's doing it naturally. And her face is still saying, I am regal, I am sultry, I'm mysterious, I am powerful. And she's walking down this runway, but she's not rushing. She is taking her time, allowing herself to be showcased unto the audience. The beauty in an evening gown performance is the subtlety of the performance. Meaning you want to exude all these different emotions and auras, but you don't want to overstate it. You want people to look at you and feel, oh my God, she's so regal, she's so powerful, she's fierce yet mysterious yet cunning. And you want to do all that and give all those different auras, but do it very low key to where it's not obvious. And her performance was breathtaking. And then she gave a little bit of icing and excitement on top when she did that extra turn at the end of the runway and served face once again. I was thoroughly served. I am full. I need no dessert. Number 29, thank you for dinner. I had a 5-course meal and I'm happy with what she gave me. Number 29 is that woman. She's number 1. She's number 1. Oh my God. The top two are amazing. The top two are to die for a little bit. So, Crowning is on the 24th. Thank you to those of you in the Kingdom Discord who have put up all of the crowning dates for all of the different countries and nations in the coronation calendar. We do have a breakdown of all the different dates of the crownings of your favorite queens. So if you want to know the specific dates of who's being crowned when, you might want to hop into the Discord and check the calendar because we got that. And thank you to all of the people who have been helping keeping me on track. I just ordered an organizer so that I can help keep all of my stuff organized and see who's being crowned when, and I can just be up to date. I think it's going to help me feel better and keep me from feeling overwhelmed because a lot of stuff has been going on behind the scenes, but it's okay. I got it handled. I also have a giant calendar, so it's gonna work. It's been working so far, right? But this is my top, 11 at this point? 11 favorites from Miss Universe Thailand. Who is your top 5? Who's your number 1? Tell us in the comment section below. Tell us why though, okay? Don't just be caping for people just because they're your sentimental fave or because she has a pretty evening gown, okay? Tell us why. I wanna know your breakdown. We are a community here. Please share your insight with the rest of us. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button because automatic fabulous points, right? We're all fabulous here, so you gotta join so that you can be fabulous with us. I love you and I will miss you, but you know I will be back in a future video. Bye!